may love The Legend of Korra just as much as you love The Last Airbender, or you might think that it was way worse. Either way, there's one thing that you can't argue with, and that is that the Avatar sequel series had tons of funny scenes.
So right now, let's dive into the most hilarious moments from The Legend of Korra.
Let's start with some of the characters from The Last Airbender who appeared in The Legend of Korra. For example, Toph. As we know, she became the Republic City's chief police, basically inventing police in the Avatar universe.
Huh?
That's right, Mr. Fullylover. Before that, there was no system to enforce, regulate rules and laws in that marvelous world. And what's more, Toph also founded the Metal Bending Academy, but then she unexpectedly ended up in the swamps, completely Master Yoda style. That's where she got to train Korra in Book 4.
I can't believe it. Toph?
Nice to see you again.
That's also where she had some of her funniest moments in the series.
Quit making all that racket.
Not that Korra's training was always successful.
You're blind compared to me.
But these episodes showed us that she didn't change even a bit and remained the Toph we love so much in The Last Airbender.
Aang and Katara's grandchildren.
Your grandpa was a real pain in my butt.
And even when Korra finally finished her training.
Thank you.
You want to hug something? Go hug a tree.
Ha! This tough woman was just the best.
It reminds me of how Bolin met Toph for the first time. It was quite embarrassing, I must say.
I can't! This can't be happening!
What, do you have to pee or something?
In fact, she was right.
No! Well, now maybe. You're my hero!
And earlier, Bolin also met another cool member of Team Avatar. I'm talking about Zuko! Remember how Bolin behaved like a total fanboy in front of him?
It's Lord Zuko! I can't believe it!
That's what you call being starstruck. And actually, that's the exact same way any of the Avatar fans would behave if they happened to meet their favorite characters in person. Especially when it's Lord Zuko himself, the Fire Lord, an ambassador for peace, and an agent for the Order of the White Lotus.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
By the way, Mr. Fullylover, did you know that there's a fan theory that Bolin and Mako were Zuko's sons from Jin, his brief love interest from Ba Sing Se?
What? Oh my god! It actually explains why one of them was a firebender and another an earthbender.
But we don't know that for sure, so let's move on to some other characters. You certainly remember Milo, Tenzin's son. Such a goofy and funny boy. It was incredible how quickly he learned and how he managed to become a great airbender, an aspiring commander, and a lemur trainer. No, you didn't, Tenzin. Meelo was a sweet boy. Well, most of the time. He was often there to test Tenzin's patience and fathering skills. But still, he certainly knew how to give a compliment, especially when he met Asami.
You're pretty. Can I have some of your hair?
I can't argue. Asami really was a gorgeous lady.
Be show me again soon, beautiful woman.
And one more thing about Meelo. He turned out to be good at art.
Well, aren't you an adorable little thing?
How many more talents did this boy have? I guess we'll only find out if someone makes a spin-off series about Meelo.
And I also like Tenzin's older daughter, Ikki. She was so talkative and energetic. I just love people like that. But sometimes she would embarrass people with her chattiness.
Why do you have 3 ponytails? And how come you smell like a lady?
Especially Korra.
Did you know Korra likes Mako?
Yeah, that reaction of Korra's was everything. I mean, really, who asked that kind of question? So it's no wonder that Korra didn't want to talk to Ikki much after that.
Run along, Ikki!
But in some cases, her talkative nature was good for the team. For example, do you remember how Bolin asked a lot of questions about the Airbender Island?
Is this an all-vegetarian island? Is that where you train airbending? Do we have to wear air acolyte clothes? Do we each get our own sky bison? And final question, how many trees are on this island?
I guess Ikki was the only person able to answer such a barrage of questions at once.
Yes, no, 10,552.
So it was certainly great to have her on the team.
And since we're on the subject of Tenzin's kids, we can't omit Jinora, his eldest daughter. She was always the friendliest and most obedient of all of his children, but that doesn't mean that she was an angel, and she knew it.
You must promise me that your teenage years won't be like this.
I will make no such promises.
Really? Who can make this kind of promise? Jinora's life changed a lot when she discovered her ability to communicate with the spirit world and reopen spirit portals.
There is a box, and inside the box there is a tiny man who sings and plays musical instruments.
Yes, the spirits had a lot to learn from her.
Apparently, I have been fed some misinformation about the existence of tiny men in boxes.
With all these abilities, it's no wonder she became the youngest known airbending master and Korra's guide into the spirit world. So it means that her teenage years also had certain challenges. Sorry, Tenzin.
Speaking of the spirit world, Mr. Scoffer, that reminds me of one significant character Korra met when she got there in Book 2 to find Genora. It was Zuko's Uncle Iroh himself.
Hello, Korra.
Any Avatar fan would easily guess what he was doing in the spirit world. He spent his time arranging tea parties for the spirits.
They are spirit cakes, so you won't gain any weight. Of course, you won't lose any either.
And he also played his favorite game of Pai Sho. Looks like he was having the time of his spirit life. But not everyone enjoyed their time in the spirit world. Tenzin, for one, didn't.
I've seen that same spirit mushroom 5 times.
That's not the same mushroom.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, even the mushroom knew that they were lost. Luckily, they eventually found Genora, and they all came back home safely.
Now, it's time to move on to other characters from the Legend of Korra. Let's recall billionaire businessman Varric and his assistant Julie, who later became the president of the United Republic, and his wife. She was the one who always knew what he wanted.
Julie, do the thing.
That's what I call being on the same page. But it doesn't mean that the relationship was always perfect. In fact, at one point, it got pretty rocky.
I did everything you ever asked of me, and you never appreciated it. Guards, do that thing.
Afterward, Varric couldn't find a replacement for Julie because no one else could understand him so well, not even Bolin.
Bolin, do the thing.
What thing?
The thing! I never had to tell Julie what thing.
So, he made the best decision he could.
Julie Moon, will you do the thing for the rest of our lives?
And you can guess what Varric and Julie did at their wedding. Precisely, they did the thing.
You may now do the thing.
She certainly helped him become a better man.
There was one more lovely relationship in The Legend of Korra, Mr. Scoffer. I'm talking about the one between Bolin and his fire ferret, Pabu.
The only one I can trust anymore is Pabu. Pabu loves me.
Ever since Bolin rescued him, Pabu followed him wherever he went, and he was also part of the Earthbender's numerous pranks. These two certainly shared a lot of funny moments.
Come on, Korra. We all deserve a little rest and relaxation after all this craziness.
And Pabu saved Bolin's life at least once. When his team was tied up after the Equalists' attack, the smart ferret understood his friend's instructions and managed to bite through the rope and set them free.
And let's not forget that Pabu had one more friend. It was Korra's pet polar bear, Naga. Just like Appa and Momo from The Last Airbender, these two were complete opposites in their appearance.
One is huge, while the other is tiny. Korra even had to explain to Naga that Pabu wasn't a snack when they just met.
But they soon became loyal friends, and they often attacked their enemies together. While Naga looked menacing in these instances, Pabu was kinda cute. But on the other hand, I wouldn't mess with him either.
And finally, we can't miss some of the most hilarious moments from the first episodes of The Legend of Korra that showed Korra learning to airbend. Every avatar had an element that was hard to learn for them. For Aang, for example, it was earth, but Toph managed to get through to him and helped him learn it. In Korra's case, the most challenging element was air. Even though she had a good teacher in Tenzin, she still struggled.
Don't force your way through!
And struggled a lot.
Dance! Dance like the wind! Be the leaf!
In the beginning, it seemed like nothing was helping, and Korra just wasn't going to become a good airbender.
Airbending yet is because you're a terrible teacher!
Yeah, you're a terrible teacher, Daddy.
But as we all know, she eventually learned to airbend just as well as all the other avatars before her.
All you need is a little patience sometimes, right?
Anyways, which one of these moments is your favorite? And would you like to see more funny scenes from the Legend of Korra?
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Cartoon Junkies.